Hello, this video is introducing the County Kingdoms world, which is a kind of made-up world that I've been working on for a little while now. And thanks to reading through some of the works, the history of Middle-earth, that kind of goes through the process by which J.R.R. Tolkien created all of his world, and looking at some other things along those lines and realizing that you don't necessarily have to set out to create an entire fantasy world. If you just do a bunch of random things, then later on you can bring them together. So that's partly what this kingdom is. It's the County Kingdom, which I could explain more in another video, but in a nutshell, it's basically a kingdom consisting of a number of provinces or counties, and that's kind of the basic structure of the kingdom. So what does that have to do with painting the walls in my office space and just general place where I put all my random other things? Yeah, so basically what I decided to do is, to me, it wasn't worth painting the walls if there wasn't another purpose besides just making it look, a little bit nicer or have a color that I prefer. That just didn't seem worthwhile, so I decided to have my walls tell a story. And if I'm going to tell a story, it might as well be one that I think is interesting and want to build more into. Otherwise, again, I've just painted the walls for, to tell a very brief story. So I decided to tie it into this whole world of the County Kingdoms. As you can see, there's a map on the back, which we'll look at in a little bit more, that's in the corner. But mainly, I was inspired this wall was already black in this room, and I decided to work around that and build up kind of the cosmology of the world of the County Kingdom, which I hadn't really worked on too specifically before starting to come up with ideas for how I wanted to paint the room. And yeah, so we'll go through a little bit of how I painted the room. So here we're starting with the map that I've drawn on the wall and painted. And this is the basic geographic area that the County Kingdom covers. And you can see that based on the words used, you might recognize that the language of the County Kingdom is Latin. And so you see just the different aspects of it there. Okay, so now we're looking at one corner of the room before I put in furniture. So most of the colors in this picture are symbolic of something, a part of the cosmology. The white stripe in the middle is not. That was just kind of to differentiate the different groupings there. Although it does helpfully in this case serve as a dividing line, which I'll get to in a moment. Part of these ideas were also inspired by the color names as well when I was picking out the paint. Not all of them, but some of them were. And to start with, you'll see at the bottom the brown trim. So this color was called Ancient Root, and this as trim that goes all around the room is kind of also symbolic as the thing or the entity that frames everything. So this is the Ancient of Days, which, if you know biblical references or possibly other references as well, you'll know that this is then the great God who rules the entire universe and kind of is the true God of everything. And next to him in this conception, you'll see the two lower colors in the picture. The kind of one on the left is kind of this yellowish green, and that was called Everglade. And then the one to the side is called Black Evergreen. So in both of these cases, these are kind of like all these colors represent great spirits or angels, perhaps, if you want to use that terminology. It's a little hazy still as I'm still defining these things, but yeah, so these are both protectors, kind of ones on the side of good, and the Black Evergreen was kind of the local guardian of the people of the County Kingdom in their original homeland, which was not the County Kingdom that is now the map. And he kind of did a rearguard action when they had to leave that land. But they knew good entity that watches over them is from the color Everglade, and so that's primarily in fens or swamps and some coastal regions is kind of the idea behind that. Above them, you can see that we have these other two colors. So the blue color is representative of a kind of ocean chaos being, which is opposed to the rule of good and order and just is more of a destroyer. And it's unclear in the cosmology of the County Kingdom if this particular spirit is just the local ocean spirit that is evil or is tied to a larger, like more of a world ocean spirit, if you will. But regardless, it's very clear what this spirit's purposes and intents are. And then the last one, this kind of forest green almost, is the one that I think is most interesting in some ways. And this is kind of what I've been calling the kudzu spirit, because it is a evil entity that seeks to overwhelm, consume everything, but also at the same time, it wants to put everything into its own image. And in doing that, it is trying to, yes, overrun and repurpose everything. And so this, I thought, was a good correspondence to kudzu and how it spreads over everything and kind of chokes out all other life, and everything just kind of has this uniformity of look, but is also consumed. So that's why I've gone for that. So that summarizes these great spirits. And then moving on to some of the other great spirits. So you'll see here there's black, which is, and this is the other corner of the room. So the other wall is black on the wall, and then you'll see the light blue color there next to the map. And this wall is actually mostly just like a closet door, so that's why you don't see very much of it there. But the black is just kind of a standard, typical death spirit, if you will, at least for now. So I won't go into that too much, fairly archetypal. The light blue is more of a sky spirit. So that is also a good spirit, and this is one that is more universal, a more universal good spirit rather than a local one that kind of stretches out across, the whole world because it's the sky. So in the cosmology, this would be why you could get some kind of things like favorable omens based on, occurrences that can happen in the sky if you study that. And then, of course, I've still got the map situated right there in the midst of it on the wall. And yeah, so that kind of gives the whole basic cosmology, or at least introduces some of the main characters of the cosmology of the County Kingdom just by looking around the room. And you can see how it kind of all surrounds the map. These spirits and beings are all, yes, around the map and around the world, and that's kind of how it creates a story, just looking at the walls of the room. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that introduction to the world of the County Kingdom and also to my office space, so kind of doubling as a PhD studies video and a kind of more creative video. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you are interested to learn more about this, just put it in the comments and I can probably go ahead and make a few other videos to give you more background on this world. Hopefully I'll be working on it a lot more this year and getting some more concrete things produced from it. But of course that all depends on how much time I have, which will probably not be that much. So we'll see how it goes. And as the semester is just about to start, I would hope to make at least one more video pretty soon about what I'm doing this semester. But as always, I'll try to make videos, but who knows? We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so thanks for coming along and learning about this kind of made-up world with me and understanding why I painted a random map that's not of a real place on the wall. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see everyone on another video.